Hello everyone, it's me once again here to talk about the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Now that chapter 168 is out, this title is The Twin Swordsmen. I will now begin my reaction and review of this chapter with obviously first what we're seeing is a bunch of drawings of chibi Percival doing all sorts of dances and moves, but he's hitting that hodo for real. And then we pick up where we last left off, where we see two different Gareths, it seems. Well, My Glorious King explained that it's obviously Gareth's ability, and it's what allowed him to reach the finals last year. Which makes Percival realize that that's the reason he was able to travel fast and not remember Edlin, because it wasn't Gareth that offed Edlin, it was his brother. With Donnie being a real homie trying to get an easy win for Percy by saying that low-key he should be disqualified since it's not a 1v1 no more. With everyone sort of like starting to mumble at that, but Beltribe is just like, yeah, nah, not really. It's not really illegal. It's still technically a one-on-one duel. Alright, Gareth goes for a jab. No, Gareth. The other Gareth goes for a jab. Percival blocks it, but makes note that there's something up with the sword that they're using as well. Which this other Gareth explains that their blade goes through any weapon, no matter how well honed or magical it may be. And then we learn that the other Gareth is actually a ghost, not a person, and it's Dareth, twin brother of Gareth, who died when the both of them were very young. So in this sense, it's part of Gareth's ability, as his skill is conjuration that allows him to summon and control his ghostly brother. And it also explains how he was able to go through houses rising tornado magic with no problem. With Gareth now being on the news move as well, Percival not trying to get snuck, blocks begins parrying the attacks, but notes that Gareth is now moving faster and stronger, noting that they are picking up the pace a lot more. And Gareth goes on to monologue at how while everyone else outside was living their lives without a care in the world, he and his brother had to suffer through the hellish place that was Anfuin, resulting in Dareth's death. But as we can see there in this little flashback panel, that this is where Gareth's magical ability seems to have manifested, as Dareth's ghost is literally just there reaching for his brothers. And this leaves Percival no chance to counter, so at that he gets snuck as Dareth stabs him in the back, seemingly cutting just going right through. And Percival seems to begin falling to the ground, left in a catatonic state, as Gareth explains that the sword that they use is called Soul Free, and it cuts off the tail of the soul that clings to the body, which is like a umbilical cord, but he just calls it a tail, and goes on to state that it's their win, so there's no point and you could just give up. Gareth begins thinking about what Percival stated in previous chapters about how once his business is done, that he leaves them with them, but obviously he just goes to move on with the match, trying to get the win. But Beltribe goes on to state that its nature is not the same as his own sword. Dareth's sword is basically an instant kill. But then they're told that they can't make that. The call can't be made for the match, as Percival like literally front flips back up, and Percival goes on to state that like he begins to understand why they want to leave Anfuin, with the two of them just completely flabbergasted at this fight. More so Dareth. He's never seen something like this before. Blood is frozen. He is flabbergasted even. But Gareth is confused on what on earth Percival is. But Percival's like, yeah, shut up. Points at him and hits the Nadula Gimal spell. And it seems that Gareth is suddenly just trapped in a domain expansion. With Nasians noting that it's the same kind of spell that he used on Waraldane in the Fairy King's fight. With Dareth sort of confused at Gareth's sudden halt in movement and asked what was done to him. With Percival, oh my days, look at this panel. Hold up. This shit's looking like this right here. We're getting glimpses of it. We're getting closer and closer to this future. And Percival begins to say that this is just a faster approach to beat the both of them. Gareth's death will mean that Dareth's will be released too from his magic force. Gareth stating that obviously they don't want to die, as he has the desire to live, both his and his brother's share as well. And we get this amazing full-page panel just showing the absoluteness that Percy holds as a life spirit over Gareth, as his hair, the wing-shaped hair, is literally just horns in this shit. Nakaba, when Nakaba wants to pull shit like this off, no one is better than him. But regardless, my point still stands. This is absolutely amazing. I love this panel so much. This is my son still. No matter you can't make me turn against Percy ever. They basically holding Gareth hostage, with Gareth literally begging for his brother's life and forfeits the match for him, with leaving Percy the winner, with Gareth apologizing to his brother, with Gareth sort of just saying that don't worry about it, more so concerned that his brother is fine. And obviously we don't see Percy's face after doing this either, as Gareth just falls through his brother's arms, and then Percy just throws his fist up like he's All Might. Again, we're not seeing how his face is, with Beltrap just, man, those magic rings are absolutely incredible, because Beltrap is literally just intrigued at Percival's ability, stating that rather than rejecting death, it's like he himself is death. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Oh, look at that nigga. Look at that nigga Gareth, bro. I hope Percy restored his life force, though. I hope that if Percival did take Gareth's life force, he did restore it, and it's just the whole thing of literally seeing the face of death is what has him down on the ground like that. But yeah, that's the end of this chapter. It was a great way to conclude this fight. Well, maybe, yeah, I like the way this fight was concluded, seeing that full page spread of essentially possibly what other spirits and animals see when they look at Percival. So because we do know that other lower ranked spirits, like elemental spirits, and even some bugs and insects and animals, have a different way of seeing the world around them compared to most of the races in Seven Deadly Sins. So maybe that little apparition of death is how creatures see Percival, knowing his true nature. And yeah, it makes you curious what on earth has been happening with him as a spirit for the past 2 years, for him to just spam the Dula Gamala like that. I think there seems to be possibly a level of range effectiveness as well, or maybe it's just the barriers that he has, because him not hitting Beltrap with that as soon as he stepped on the court, it's kind of strange, but it's kind of in character for Percival as well. He is a more pacifistic kind of guy right now, and he has the power to keep to those ideals at the moment. So yeah, great chapter, interesting fight. We'll be moving on to the next match, which is Donnie versus Mystery Package, if I remember right. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time for that. Well, there might be an intermission though, so who knows. But yeah, outside of that, take care. Have a good one.